I've gotten more comfortable listening to myself, following my instincts. Even if you think maybe that person's right, it's like, no, you already know. You know what to do. Follow your heart. Follow your gut. There is power in trusting yourself and your vision and what you're doing. And I don't know if I would have had the courage in my early 20s to like sell everything and move to Nashville and now end up in New York City. And it's like, I don't know how it's really working, but it's awesome and it's really exciting and it's so inspiring. I think a lot of it was learning more about myself first and bringing that into the writing of the song. I used to kind of shy away from getting really personal and vulnerable because I thought that it wasn't right for radio, or I didn't know where, there would be a home for me. And then I found that like the more personal that I was getting within myself and trying to relate that to the songs, those were the kind of songs that I was loving. And I was playing those out live and people were connecting to them, and I started being like, oh, maybe I just need to be a bit more brave and honest. Being an artist for me anyways is more about just being true to myself. I just am who I am. I want that raw side. I want people to know me. I want people to feel that they can connect to the songs. I grew up in Pritchard, little farm town in BC. There's a general store. I think New York, to me, you'd always see it on movies. It's like this big, huge, magical city, and I was always so curious about it. And I went there in June for a writing workshop of last year, 2017. And then I found myself back there 5 times in 6 months from Nashville. I started doing shows there, and every time that I'd go there, I just would write like song after song after song. It just like my brain woke up there. And so I just decided to kind of run with it. I just packed my bag and moved on to New York for a little while, and now that's my home. I've struggled with stage fright my whole life. It's like something that I had to harness in a positive way. But when I'm on stage and I can relate to the lyrics and what I'm singing, that kind of goes away because I can remember those emotions of what I was going through or what I was feeling at the time that I wrote it. And then I'm not scared to sing it anymore because it's like I'm telling a story that's actually true to my heart. When I first moved to New York, I was just getting lost all the time because my phone would die, and then was wandering around Manhattan and my phone died, and I wandered into this Italian cafe and I was charging my phone, and they did a happy hour, so it's like $3 beers, and I'm like, well, I might as well have a couple beers. And so I was charging my phone and I got out my notebook, and I just started writing down this like kind of like a poem, I guess. I've never really written poems either. It was like this whole idea of New York being quiet but yet loud at the same time, and it being like slow but fast. When I think of it, how opposite it can be sometimes, and how big it can be but feel lonely at the same time. I was doing some co-writing with my friend David. He said, hey, I got this guitar idea that I haven't used yet, and I've had it for like months. And I'm like, I have just kind of wrote a poem. Maybe we can join the two ideas together. And it worked like really fast. We finished the song in like half an hour. But I really like it. It's fun to play live too. Stuck somewhere between bright and dark, end and start, far and smart. Usually, like if someone's playing, I can hear melodies, and so the melody kind of came while he was playing the guitar. It's funny though. It's like the more songwriting you do, it's letting yourself have the freedom to do it in different ways instead of always having the way that you write a song. It doesn't always have to be that way. Not to be found, there's so many around. Spinning all my secrets on a downtown train, finding every answer in the streets of New York City. It sounds so funny, but everything has to kind of collide. I feel like my age, just life experience, and then willingness to raise all the stakes and get rid of all of my stuff, and then everything kind of had to come together. I'm really stoked on how the songs are coming along. I'm feeling comfortable being vulnerable, which is new for me. I'm starting to feel way more comfortable on stage. Now it's just, I guess, being like open to writing the best songs that I can. Even when I'm so nervous before I go on stage, or if I'm really nervous for interviews, or if I'm really nervous for photography session or video, like anything, it's like, why did I pick up my guitar? Because I loved writing songs. And since then, why do I continue to do it? Because when someone comes up to me and they say, this song, I feel connected to it. It reminded me of me, or like, oh, that song's about that. Oh, I listened to that with my girlfriend. Or like when people can relate, it's like, so that's why I do it. That's why. It's so rewarding. It's like such an amazing payoff. And that's why I'll continue to do it. I don't know, when people can build their memories to your music, it's like, that's the whole goal, I think, for me anyway.
Every answer in the streets of New York City. In the streets of New York City. In the streets of New York City. In the streets of New York City.